before that point in my life, I was experiencing God, having God encounters and healing, but it was all just inside of me. After that point, it was like I started leaking God on other people. I'll be praying in a room, somebody will walk in, and they'll feel the presence. So it's like the God inside of me was no longer in the box, he was coming out. Or I would lay my hand on somebody and they would get healed, or just things like that started happening. And the first instant was at Karen and Bobby's house, Bobby Harrison. I was with them eating breakfast, and I felt like I was supposed to pray for him before he went to work. And I kept saying all through breakfast, do not let Bobby go to work until I can pray for him, because I'm supposed to pray for him before he goes to work. So when I laid my hand on him, I had no idea that he had a shoulder injury. I had no idea that I was laying my hand on an injured shoulder. I had no idea what I was supposed to pray. All I knew was that God had told me to pray for him. So I fumbled through this sweet, short, simple little blessing prayer. And the next thing I know, he's going on and on about, your hand was hot. The pain is gone. My injury, I had a shoulder injury. It's healed. That was the first one. And then a co-worker of mine was at home, sick in bed. And I sent her a text. It was not a deep spiritual text. I was just texting her to let her know that I had burned the food in my crock pot. And the minute she laid eyes on the text, she was instantly healed, filled with joy, could not stop laughing. And she texted me back what happened and said, I guess I'm going to get out of bed and come on into work. And that's what she did. At the Holiday Inn, a lady working there had a headache. Prayed for her. Her headache left. Another lady at work, headache. Her headache left. Maxine, remember when you had that intestine pain? You remember when you had that intestine pain? And I put my hand in, and that was instantly healed. And the funniest one to me is one night my son had very painful gas pains. And for whatever reason, it just was not releasing, and it was hurting him. And so I laid my hands on him, and I commanded the pain to stop and the gas to come out. And he said, Mama, you might want to leave the room. And I said, why? And he said, I feel it's about to come out. And so all that gas was released. I still laugh about that healing. It's just so cute and funny to me. But anyway, so there was a 2-year period where God was just doing these little I call them little miracles, because I have not yet laid hands on, and seen blind eyes open, deaf ears yet. But for a 2-year period, God was doing these little things, and I just, want to be honest with you and say, in all honesty, 9 out of 10 times, I was too scared and too nervous to say, hey, can I pray for you? So it was really not that often that I would do it, but when I would, usually something would happen. If they weren't instantly healed, they would be healed in a few hours, or maybe the next day a big miracle would happen, or at the very least they would feel the presence of God and start crying or something like that, But then, I don't know why this happened, but for 2 people in a row, I prayed for 2 people in a row, and nothing happened. And one of them, I even prayed for her for an hour. And usually when I pray for somebody for an hour, something happens. And so it just really shook my faith. And I did not pray for anybody for a whole year, because I was so worried. What if I pray and nothing happens? I let that fear get a hold of me. So a whole year goes by, and I'm just not praying for anybody. And then October 28th, recently, I was at home getting ready for church, and I felt like I was supposed to come into church early. And I remember looking at the time and thinking, this is weird. Why am I going to church so early? This doesn't make any sense, but I followed that feeling that I was supposed to come in, and I came in early. And Carolyn, I found myself sitting in on Carolyn's Sunday school class, and she was teaching about overcoming our fear of praying for people.
Yes.
And so, see, God dragged me in early so I would not miss that. And she put on this video from the Sid Roth show, and there was a story about a man who he prayed for 12 hours straight. God, use me to minister to somebody. And so after 12 hours of praying, he found himself in line at Popeyes, and the Lord started speaking to him about a lady over there in line, what medical condition she has, but he was too scared to go pray for her. So his friend went and prayed, and she was healed. But while I was watching the video, Pat and I, we were sitting way back in the back, and the whole time the video is going, Pat and I, we're just back there, pointing and laughing. Not laughing in the sense of we're making fun of it, but kind of like laughing at ourselves, like, yes, oh my gosh, I relate to that. That's me, I've been there, you too, yes. That kind of thing. We're just pointing and laughing. And then all of a sudden, I turned to her and I said, Pat, I feel the presence of God. And when I said that, wham! The Holy Spirit fell on me in a powerful way, and I just started weeping. And I knew that God was speaking to me, not in words, but in impressions, and that He was telling me, you had your hand on the plow, but you took your hands off the plow and you laid out in the dirt for a year. That's you up in the video. It is time for you to get up, get your hands back on the plow. I want you praying for people. So, I hear you loud and clear, Lord. So I started looking, who can I pray for? What can I pray for? And I was at KFC with 3 co-workers, and I said, okay, I was going to practice on them. And I said, let me pray for y'all. So we grabbed hands. I prayed for each one. And then one of my co-workers, whose hand I was holding, later told me, when you were praying, I felt energy come out of your hand and shoot up my arm and across my chest. And so that was confirmation. Okay, God, I'm on the right track. I'm doing what you want me to do. So, a lady at my work has very painful sciatica in her leg. So I approached her and I said, hey, the Lord's been dealing with me about, I need to pray for people, and you've got sciatica. Can I pray for your sciatica? She's excited. Yes, let's do this. And she said to me, before I started praying for her, she said to me, as you're praying for people, God is going to be training you. And that's exactly what happened, because the first time I prayed for her sciatica, it was not an instant healing. I had to, the second day, I prayed for her sciatica, texted her back, how's the sciatica? How is it? Is it gone yet? Every day I prayed and texted her back, how's the sciatica? Is it gone yet? And it took several days, but the lesson from the Lord for me was, so what if you pray one time and nothing happens? I spent a whole year in hiding because I was so afraid. Oh my gosh, what if I pray one time and nothing happens? You pray again and again and again. And you have to think of prayer as a hammer going after a nail. the hammer does not always get the nail the first time. Sometimes you have to hit a few times, but keep at it. So I want to encourage you with that. If you're praying for something, not to give up.